great season, great teams, great playoffs, great all that. Got capped off by something that probably marred the entirety of the conversation. I know people had negative things to say about ratings and display and all that, but we were still pretty high on it. Got totally taken over and marred by this final injury. Tyrese Halliburton, 25 years old, first quarter, 4 minutes and 55 seconds left, goes down with a torn Achilles. I mean, where were y'all?
I was right here, live on playback, called it. Game starts. Chat eyes looked a little shaky. They paying over to Hallie. I should have clipped it, man.
That bottom up shot, Damo.
That bottom up shot.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there rolling. I'm rolling up, getting ready for the game. I look up. I'm like, y'all don't. I say it.
Y'all felt that?
Y'all don't feel that? Y'all don't feel that? What are you talking about? Y'all didn't see the glow around Holly? Oh, Damo, you tripping. 3 threes later in the first quarter, I'm on cloud 9. I'm like, yeah, it's one of them ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then it happened. Kill my mood, gang.
Same experience. I was just in the living room.
Because from your perspective, because you went through truly this exact same thing with favorite player from your favorite team. What was it? I mean, what was the thought process?
For the Tatum injury or this
no, for the Hallie injury.
I mean, I was trying to justify that it wasn't an Achilles injury, but as soon as the replay came about, I was like, ooh, that looks pretty bad. The part that really got me was how quick they were to announce that it was an Achilles injury. Because for Tatum, it took them like until the day after to really figure it out. They wouldn't come out and outright say it. I'm pretty sure the Dame one was the same. For them to just straight up say, like, during the middle of the game, yeah, this is an Achilles injury. That was kind of crazy to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Well, let me speak to that before I throw it to Sage, because I said that this is probably the first time that I can ever remember where there's no speculation.
Yeah.
Right. People go down with a non-contact injury, bump something, twist. Definitely got to see the replay before we wait till the come out or whatever the case may be. But this specific injury has happened so many times that we're at the point we can call it accurately. Right. We don't even have to wait. In this playoffs,
they all fall the same too. Like that's just
In this playoff, Sage, Dame, Tatum, Hallie. In this season, Hallie, Tatum, DeJounte Murray. We got Kyrie Irving with a torn ACL. Dame. Isaiah Jackson as well with a torn Achilles. James Wiseman as well with a torn Achilles. Grant Williams tore his ACL. DeAnthony Melton tore his ACL. Drew Smith with a torn Achilles. Mo Wagner with a torn ACL. The question has to be answered. What the hell is going on?
Well, you phrased it in a way that's gonna make me sound like those guys that stand on a random soapbox, but I'm serious here. This is why, like, when people talk about defense in the modern era, I'm like, yo, it's hard to keep moving your joints and your legs going this way and that way and stuff like that. It's a very vertical game, and it's a very vertical game, let alone is it like a side-to-side horizontal one. Y'all legs not supposed to move like that for that long. It's just not supposed to be a thing, especially when you have spacing that takes you all the way to the fucking 30-foot line, and then sometimes you're just at the 3-point line. Basically, niggas is making weird ass movements at a high speed time and time again, and it's just fucking with people. I'm not necessarily an NBA athlete. I'm not a damn doctor either, so I know it's probably a bit more science, or maybe even a bit less into something simpler. But if I just had to make a reason as to why it's happening, it's because there's a lot of unorthodox movement going on in the league nowadays. Basketball, again, I'm not calling it football, not calling it boxing, not calling it UFC, but it's certainly a sport, and it taxes you, even on offense, as someone said, Chad. Yes, even offensively, you can be dribbling the ball, you're trying to break down your defender, you try to tap, left, right, start, stop, de-acceleration. I know decel was the term with Stephon Castle for a couple months. Nigga, that shit, you ain't supposed to be doing that too long. So yeah, I think it's partially some of everything I've mentioned thus far. In regards to Hallie, man, Bezos, the reason we knew that it was that versus Tatum's sad, don't get me wrong, but I like seeing Hallie just fucking explode. So I was like, I think everybody and their mom that knows what an Achilles is was like, yeah, that part of the body doesn't. Yeah, something's wrong.
I saw his I thought the Achilles was closer to your actual foot. I saw his calf pop. And that was
it's like a tendon thing, man. That
There's
shit literally. Yeah.
So I thought it was
There's
like a
two
separate
different
calf injury
parts.
that wasn't an Achilles injury.
There's two different parts where it could pop, essentially, one lower, one kind of higher. But yeah, I'm with Sage. When I was watching, I'm all for waiting to hear when the reports come out. I hate people trying to be doctors whenever niggas get hurt. But again, I was live on here. I looked at the replay. I know where to look. I looked at his right calf and I seen the explosion in his calf. I was like, oh no, that's clearly something terrible.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Everybody's asking what's going on. I'm like, watch the next replay. Look at his right calf muscle. When you see that pop, I didn't even want to say Achilles. It could have been anything. Whatever it is not there no more. So I'm with you. I hate people that when we see somebody go down and it's a non-contact lower leg injury. Oh, that's his PCL tendon, of course.
Hey, that's gonna be 9 months. Personally,
yeah, that's gonna be a quick 9 months. Like, no, that might not be the case. But I do believe while we have a influx of numbers of why we have some of these injuries, what Sage said, of course, your leg's not just supposed to move like that, especially for these players who are, I know we want to call 6'3", 6'4" small. These are tall humans. These are long limbs. Moving at that rate, at that pace, is crazy. Also, people playing through injuries. Y'all will be sick of y'all call them just y'all, everything's load management now. Y'all hate the term load management. Y'all hate players resting, player rest, or whatever it is. But realistically, players are playing through a lot of injuries. So these players aren't exposing this. They're not saying anything because they're trying to make money and they end up hurting themselves. That's a big issue as well. So if we had it set up to where players were more secure, people will be more mindful of their injuries and everything like that and wouldn't play through as many with that old world mindset of, if it ain't fall off, you can play. Yeah, it's gonna fall off by the time you're 35. Then you're fucked.
I just like to get your thoughts on this, because I've heard people counter that point with the reason why they aren't the reason why they aren't pro load management is because these players don't work out enough, and that's why their muscles and their tendons aren't as strong as they need to be. Like, to that,
I agree. If you're not practicing hard, if you're not training how you should be training, then yeah, it becomes a problem if you're load management this way. Load management is strictly just wear and tear through the games through a long season. I don't believe players need to be playing 82 games in the season if we're having an 82 game season. You can tell there's a good 10 to 15 games that genuinely don't matter for NBA teams. Players should be liable to get rest from these 3 games in 4 nights, 4 games in 6 nights type of ordeal, the travel, everything like that. But if they're not training, if you're not doing your due diligence in practice, then of course that's an issue. That's a team issue though. Make sure your players are fucking practicing. I don't know. I don't know how else to do that other than organizations being real organizations.
Yeah, you hire doctors and trainers, but you can't trust the report. That's just, I don't even know what else to say. People were questioning why he played, and this is just one of those things where, one, from a non-basketball perspective, you got to protect your players. As Damo said, that motherfucker is a pivot step, a hard burst of energy from his fucking leg popping. Gang, I get it. This is the dream, bruh. We got to just be considerate as humans, let alone smart in terms of asset management and everything in between. I don't know if you should be hooping, dog. Like that is a dangerous thing to do. It was very reminiscent of KD for that reason. But then, two, just even from basketball, and this is what was blowing me. I know it's kind of like a weird way to view it, but when it happened, sad moment, everything, I'm like, damn, that is what it is, right? Tough. They hate to fucking see it. I hated the people that were like, all right, well, let me turn this off now. It's over. I'm like, nigga, the Pacers deep as shit. so I'm like, the Pacers is deep as shit. So why are we even putting him in this situation? Let alone why are we acting like they can't compete again? It was just one of them things where I was like, this was very, very, very avoidable. But as Damo said again, we're playing players hurt. And it happens all the time. Roy Hibbert has come up here and talk about it. Multiple NBA players across multiple platforms, let alone the ones we've spoken to, have talked about it. It's just the expectation of play. If the plus is yellow on 2K, go out here and hoop. But if it's red, all right, bro, I get it. It's just, it sounds cool, but when this happens now, it's not fun.
Well, this is being noted as the NBA's biggest problem. I know all season, people were marking the ratings and all this other stuff is like the NBA's biggest problem. But going into next season, I mean, the East is going to look totally different. The Achilles tear is still, a year out process, a year plus. Kevin Durant said 700 days is what it takes to do a recover for real. And that's if you will be the same. That is if you will be the same coming out of it. But so we're talking about top teams in the East. We're talking about Bucks, we're talking about Celtics, we're talking about Pacers, all looking different because this star is going to happen. And I haven't heard any like credible things to make me think that there's some like true solvable or thing that we could look at. I know B Souls just talked about the lack of training and all that. I still think that's hoopla, but is there something that can be done? I know that's probably not the way that we should be thinking about that. Is there something that can be done though in order to solve this issue? It seems like there's an uptick. We want to solve the issue. What do we have any opinions? It's definitely not low cut shoes. I'm gonna say that, but
yeah, the low cuts ain't helping. Kobe, you're my glorious king, but
let me say this. I think low cut shoes are not a problem. I think low cut shoes are fine.
But I don't hoop all the time, so I wouldn't necessarily know. I'll defer, but
I think for the solution, I don't want to be that guy, but I wouldn't feel comfortable even throwing out a solution without having the medical expertise and like the data in front of me. Like there's a lot of assumptions people are making, a lot of like theories, and it's one of those things where like my concern would be if it comes out that the NBA isn't investigating this at all and using their resources and their analytics people to really dive into this, because this should be top 5 priority for them to figure out. If they're not doing that, that's the real problem.
More dexterity training, more flexibility training. That would be my solution for every team across the NBA. Put money into aerobics, put money into dexterity, put money into core training for your players. It's the little things that matter. Working out and stretching the muscles that people don't usually get or think about is the key in my head. And that's with no medical expertise. That's just from what I've seen and know about playing sports my entire life. Well, most of my life. First half of my life.
I'm going to talk about this in terms of, because health is definitely the answer, but outside of like health, I'm just talk to it in a sense of, again, construction. I understand it's a backwards way of thinking, but if the team was in a situation where they're telling Halle, hey, gang, I get it, it's dream on the line, but we got you. We built a team that is deep enough to play for you. You don't have to risk your entire career because this is the biggest game of your life. Yes, it's the biggest game of your life, but you need coaches, owners, GMs, whatever the case may be, that have the backbone to tell them, hey, bro, this is an awful idea. This is the worst idea possible. We want to win too, but this is why we're going to make the team 15 fucking deep if possible, to make sure that you don't have the lack of trust in your guys to get it done. Not saying that's what he had, but it's just a situation of doing everything possible to make sure you can protect each and every one of your players at all times.
Are we missing the games played aspect of it? There is some conversations about, just in totality. Players are playing too many games. We're talking about from the youth days on to now, 18-year-olds have the knees of like 30-year-olds. It's being reported when we talk about the damage and the generation of tendons and things like that. Are we going to ever address the culture surrounding, just basketball games? Like how many games are played, how much we're playing basketball in the U.S.?
I think if it doesn't change from childhood, I just don't think like changing in the NBA would have the drastic impact that some people might think it is, that they think it would. Because if the argument is like players are coming into the league with knees of a 30-year-old already, like I just think going from 82 to 66 doesn't fundamentally fix that. But if they fix it from the bottom up, like I think that would have a bigger impact on it.
I'm all for reforming how it's played on the youth level in terms of how many games people are playing, at least on the high competitive scale. Youth, like recreational sports, I think it's in a good place. But in terms of AAU, probably these high level tournaments and events and things that of that nature, I don't think you need to be playing 3 games in one day for a tournament. A tournament should be 2 games in a weekend. You should have a Saturday game and a Sunday game if you're going to do something for the weekend. You shouldn't have a full tournament played on the weekends. That's kind of crazy. There should be regulations to how much youth ball is played. You're already playing during the school year in terms of games that really matter, in my opinion. In the summertime, y'all shouldn't be going this crazy. In terms of playing in your free time, cool, playing your free time. But the way that AAU is set up in terms of wear and tear, I'm definitely for reforming.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you all there. The only thing is, I'll say, I'll just double down. The NBA need to do the shit too. But nah, yeah, kids literally, if you're good, I was asked, but if you're good at basketball, you play like 3-4 times a day. It's fucking wild. So yeah, you don't need to. Literally, there's no reason the Tot needs to be doing that. And then as far as the NBA, I'm all for only play each other twice, maybe certain divisions 3 times. There's no reason for 82 games. We all have had several talks about that. The only people that cape for it are like the people that I guess argue they watch all 82 games of every team. Sure.
Yeah, I think that part of my conversation to the adults and stuff like that is like, you should know there's more data, more information out there more than ever. You should know if your kid is good. There's no reason why he should be playing that much basketball. Like I have the working theory, even these freshman seasons, the way that they're drafting, you don't even got to play college basketball. You could sit out for a legitimate year and it still be a lottery pick. I don't think Cooper Flag playing last year at Duke changed his projection for the 2025 draft. It didn't. It did not. He was still going to be number 1 if he just sat out for an entire year. And I know that that's like the top of the top, but for a lot of these guys, y'all don't know if y'all going to the league or not. Playing and not playing isn't really swaying y'all. With that being said, like Damo was saying, during the summer, there's no need to play 9-10 games in a week. 9-10 games in 3 days. Flying from here to here to here. There's no need to do all that. There's no need to be playing year round.
5 games and 2 of them in a different state. Swear. they literally do that shit. I'm ass, but I've seen motherfuckers travel. Be like, bro, weren't you just in DC? Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah, take a nephew all the way to fucking Virginia because he got to play a game over there. What the fuck?
Basketball fun though. Don't get me wrong. Like I understand why you would want to play like that, but at a certain point, there are, just levels to it, and I wouldn't want to do like that much because just the damage on the body. I don't know. At some point, we do have to acknowledge. Yeah, shout out to the Thunder, man, winning the championship. Woo!
Yeah.
Ooh.
Very somber, but that's just the reality as to what happened.
Can I say before
People
we
calling
get
it a
into
hospital
I
rings
seen-
corny. I will say that.
Yeah, that is corny. But I just want to say I saw a tweet about like the Thunder didn't seem too happy about it. I'd probably rage bait, but nigga, they saw what went down. It was a sad game, but you had to handle business. What they gonna do? Healing jutsu the shit and restart the scoreboard? You had to do what you have to do. That's definitely still an earned one. Calling it Mickey is come on, y'all. But it's just it's tough to see it happen that way for sure.
I saw that too. I didn't like that tweet because it made it seem like this is a every year thing.
Right.
That like let the champions react like that. My C's did not react like that last year.
The Lakers did.
JT was called corny for crying. So yeah, not I said the fly.
He was corny for crying.
Oh wow.
Okay.
At least it wasn't not emotional. That was the argument today. So
yeah,
I think ultimately nothing is going to solve that. So it is what it is.